Feel the burning stare of my hamster and change your ways.
Hey everybody, this is the TMG Podcast. This is episode 5. This is Carlos. With me today is the usual, Will.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And I got Miggy.
Hello.
Yeah, and this is a podcast with anything video games. And this could be like a special week because it's October, and it's the second week of October. And we were discussing it like a couple of days ago that we actually want to focus on one genre, which is obviously the horror genre, which hasn't had its good days and has bad days, but we would actually want to talk about like how it started, or how it started for us.
Definitely.
In general. Yeah.
Definitely. It's been there. But first, before that, what you been playing?
I've been trying to play GTA Online for the past few days still, but I'm not going to talk about that because I really don't want to talk about GTA anymore because we've had it for like maybe this whole series.
3 episodes.
I think 3 or 4 episodes have been about GTA at some point, yeah.
But, well, for me, what have been Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, that's an oldie but goodie.
Oldie but goodie. I bought it. I got the Dark Arisen version, the new one, for my 360, and I kind of like revisited it because I played it when I got it. I played it for like 2 months, and I stopped to the point when I got access to the new content. So I'm pretty much picking up from where I left off. That's a really good game.
It is. I mean, it's not perfect, but I do like how they mixed in the whole Monster Hunter vibe.
With smoother combat.
Right, exactly. It's a bit smoother, and then the whole open world kind of sandbox feel to it. So
no, it was smooth at the same time deep. That was the one thing that surprised me. That it was actually, if you want an RPG that's really deep in terms of character customization and character building, like how you want to create your character's class and everything, it's really deep. It's like you can have a mage with some awesome bow abilities mixed in with the magic, and then you can, if you don't like that, you can actually switch into the warrior class and then get its perks there, and then you can transfer that to your other class. It's really intricate. It's actually pretty interesting. And it has the Dragon's Dogma has a really big resemblance to, well, for me, it reminds me so much of Shadow of the Colossus because it's climbing ability.
Oh yeah.
And how you pretty much have to climb on these big fantasy creatures and just hit its weak spot like over and over and over again. And I think it did really well on that aspect. Like, it does not give you that horrible feeling where you're fighting this grand monster and you're just
small on the ground.
You're small on the ground and you're just picking on its toes. You
have a better sense of scale since you can climb it.
Yeah, and you feel epic at the same time. You're climbing a big monster. You go on its, like a cyclops. Like, you go on its head and just stab its eye over and over, and you can feed it scream because you're stabbing its eye over and over. Every battle I go through with that game really satisfies me.
Did like all the little problems like bother you though? Like, I know the AI isn't exactly that great in the game.
Oh, the AI is horrible.
They keep stating the obvious, like a monster. Like
no, they're horrible at the same time. They're noisy as fuck. I mean, they walk around and then like, oh, there's a town, and the other AI comes because like usually when we run together. Of course I'm first, and then eventually one of the AI goes front, and he sees the town. Oh, there's a town. The second AI comes. Oh, there's a town. And they repeat each other over and over sometimes. Actually pretty bad. But believe it or not, it actually helps. In terms of combat.
They're very competent in combat. They're just annoying with those quotes.
Competent, but the problem with that is that they're, what Capcom tried to do is like give them personality in terms of their combat. Like, one will become more of a support role, one will become more of I will target the ranged and the mages type of deal. To the point that because of those roles, they tend to be stupid. Like, there's a Cyclops right in front of you, but you decide to go around to to go for that heartbeat that you can't reach because it's arranged. And then you can see my sword and broad character, I mean AI guy, trying so hard to reach that heartbeat, and he could have just helped me out with the Cyclops that's right in front of me. And it's just stupid in that aspect. Did any of you play it?
I played Dragon's Dogma. I haven't actually checked out the Dark Arisen stuff yet. I actually liked it despite its flaws, and I was a little bit hesitant to pick it up because a lot of the reviews online were giving it rather mediocre reviews.
You're talking about Dark Arisen?
No, but Dragon's Dogma.
Vanilla Dragon's Dogma.
I actually haven't checked out Dragon's Dogma yet. I'm not even sure what it adds exactly, but I like the original a lot, actually. I actually thought it was great. And this is coming from someone who actually has only seen other people play Monster Hunter. I actually haven't played it myself yet, Monster Hunter, so yeah, I know I'm kind of shameful of that, but I quite enjoyed it, so I should probably consider picking up the Dark Arisen stuff eventually. I think I can get that separately as just DLC, right? I don't need to buy a...
No, sadly, because Capcom is just horrible at that.
Oh, but the disc of Dark Arisen is fairly cheap, I think, even brand new.
Yeah,
so
it's fairly cheap, which is actually okay, but I still don't understand why Capcom did not opt, like, for people who bought the game to get a DLC of the extra content. Like,
yeah.
You have to buy the extra one. Like, it's weird. But it's only like 1-2, I think.
It's the Street Fighter thing all over again, basically.
Pretty much is. It's really Super Street Fighter Arcade Edition. Buy it again.
And now there's going to be Ultra Super Street Fighter 4, right? So buy it once more.
No, but there's actually an option for that.
Oh, is there? Can you just download that?
You dump $10 and you're pretty much good, or $20. I have to double check on that, but I think they learned finally. But there's an option, at least. There's an option now. But yeah, Dark Arisen, it's actually a pretty good deal. It's like 1-2.
And I think you can still sell vanilla for 400. Because that's what I just did this past few days.
Oh, you just sold it?
Yeah, because you can just carry over your save game from vanilla to Dark Arisen.
Oh yeah, that's what happened. And then you get like a ton of extra goodies.
You get some like bonus items and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's
what essentially the Dark Arisen provides for the original game is like a post game content.
Yeah, like a new area.
Yeah, once you're done with the game, you can actually enter this content like right off the bat, like even when you start the game, but you're
gonna die.
Die really fast. So it's like it's advisable to like go to that extra content after you finiix the game.
Right.
I think the recommended level is 50 plus.
Yeah.
Stand a chance in that area.
Oh, no, it's really tough. It's so hard. I love the challenge. It's actually really tough. I'm at level 98 right now. Okay. And I'm a mage archer, and if I get hit once by anything that's scary, I'm dead. Like, so I'm like constantly rolling around like a little bitch. But it's really fun because, there's actually a big jump for when all the items you get in that new area. Like, once you get those new items, you feel that huge jump in power. But it's still hard. Like, you still have to worry about your life. You still have to worry about those little new mechanics of the new monsters, because they also have new monsters included in the new island, like an undead dragon and death itself. They actually have that wraith guy walking around, which I'm just trying to figure out how to kill. He actually roams around randomly, like you don't a specific spot.
I'm just walking around having a drink here, and death comes along and kicks me.
Yeah, like I'm just like enjoying the scenery, like this forest within a ruin, and all of a sudden death appears that tries to take me with him. I don't know. But yeah,
death. I'm just.
It sounds like a
damn
dick.
It, Death.
What a dick. That's a dick. How about you, Mix? What have you been playing?
Now, aside from GTA Online, I've had a smooth experience with it online, but aside from that, I've played The Cat Lady.
The Cat Lady?
What?
Yeah, it's just like indie side-scroller, point-and-click horror adventure dark game.
Oh, it's a horror game?
Perfect horror. Awesome.
Yeah, it's very dark themed, like, you know. Well, I mean, your character
Cat ladies are pretty creepy. You know, you have to. I thought you played as a cat lady. When you said the title, I was like, oh shit, you gotta collect cats.
No, you are a cat lady, but like, I don't think that really plays much into the story. I think, at least not yet. Because you start off, your character is already dead right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
Like, she describes that she took 34 sleeping pills at the beginning narration. And then you meet this crazy old lady that tells you can find happiness again, but you have to do this for me. You have to kill 5 beings of, like, malice or something. And
wait, is this a PC game?
Yes, it's a PC game.
Point and click.
I'll give you the link to it so that you can give our viewers, listeners, a chance to check it out.
Okay, cool.
I kind of want to check it out now, too.
I have never heard about this game at all. Do you know who developed it?
I don't know who developed it, but I've seen the other game that he made. I think it's called Downfall, which had a similar art style and a more point-and-clicky, like, old-style point-and-click adventure formula.
I honestly miss, like, point-and-click adventures. But sadly, like, those kind of gameplays are actually... No, I can't really say dumbed down. I was about to say dumbed down, but more like pushed to the indie side. Like, you'll see those in point-and-clicks in the indie side now.
But it's funny that you mentioned that, like, you know, we were just wanted to discuss about horror games, and a lot of the newer horror, the really scary ones, tend to be indie titles. You know, they're not really the big AAA releases anymore. They're more these little indie games people make, and then it really tries to capture again that essence of, like, terror, like just the unknown, rather than like the more action-packed variant that we tend to get now, Dead Space and Resident Evil sort of stuff.
No, it's more like I'm not too sure, like, if all developers are in that position where they want to make the horror game they want to make, but
it's probably like the company telling them not to. Because
but the company's like, you have to put this little bit of edge, to make it more appealing.
And a lot of companies now insist that there has to be a multiplayer component of some sort. So
and make it a first-person shooter.
Or a third-person shooter or some shit.
And give it horrible cover system.
Yeah.
And microtransactions.
And bad dialogue and everything. Well, anyways, I mean,
we just specified one game.
We just talked about every horror game that's been released in the past 5 years. Right?
In this generation. Can I say that? Can I say that?
Yeah.
Is there there's a good horror games at least in this generation, but I think, going back, I think it's all indie. I'm just thinking it right now.
Well, I mean, we can get to that further. I mean, let's start it off. Like, what was your first, like, video game that you played that was, like, you could say was a horror game? Like, I think honestly, the first one for me was probably Castlevania, which, if you look back on it now, you don't think of it too much as a horror game, but back in the 80s, and that's like all you got was like, holy crap, you're fighting Dracula, you're killing zombies and werewolves and stuff. Oh,
you're talking about the first Castlevania?
Yeah. The first one on the NES.
Oh, I actually never finished that one.
Oh,
me neither.
Those games
were hard.
Those games were, notoriously hard. I don't know if you ever watched the Angry Video Game Nerd, but he's got a whole web series on just the Castlevania titles and how difficult they are, and
and how the buffalo sits on them.
Yeah, and all that stuff. But they were really hard. But I mean, the Castlevania. Yeah, I especially even Castlevania 2, which turned it more into a adventure
RPG.
game where you had to go from town to town, and
grind for hearts.
Actually, Castlevania has turned into a weird. It turned from what it was before and from where it was now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It went from platform to.
It went to Metroidvania after Symphony of the Night on the PS1, I think it was.
Oh, man, Symphony of the Night, like, no matter what, it's like one of the best.
It's still the best for me.
It absolutely was, but by that point, it had kind of lost already its horrorness to it. It wasn't.
But it had creepy aspects because of the music and some of the areas.
Yeah,
but it's a different game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the other one I can think of that I played early was probably Doom. Doom was.
Oh yeah, Doom was creepy as fuck.
Doom was really.
Actually, yeah.
I mean, you were on hell. You were like literally in hell, and it was first person. So I mean, that's a horror.
And like our childlike coordination wouldn't let us play the video game right.
No, I remember the Doom. It was like when you're walking through like narrow corridors. Like it is like one of the first person shooters. But some of us, I'm sure, were like freaked out when when you turn left, a huge eye was running in front of you, shooting balls.
Yeah, exactly.
It's freaking out, and then you can see your guy's face like all bleeding, and like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do to help you.
even like the crappy sound effects they made, you know. I mean, back in the day, those were really.
That was like there was no standard back then, so.
Yeah, I have to agree with you that like Doom was pretty freaky.
Yeah. Or do you remember like the old Splatterhouse games on the Genesis? Those were also pretty.
I didn't play any of those.
Oh, really?
I played it, but I never considered it as a horror. I felt it was okay.
Oh, really?
I honestly.
The dude had the hockey mask and everything, and the chainsaws and.
Yeah, but the art style and the gameplay were more arcadey, arena-style brawlers, right?
Yeah. It was an arcade game originally, I think. It was originally an arcade game, which got ported to the Genesis. I think this was the only reason I think it never went to like Nintendo consoles was, if you remember back in those days, Nintendo had a huge issue with showing blood and gore.
Oh yeah.
Right? You remember?
Yeah, what was that exactly? Because it was
Mortal Kombat.
This was in the late 80s, I think. Splatterhouse was the late 80s. Mortal Kombat, of course, was when it really became obvious, right? When they replaced the blood with sweat and all that stuff, and
or they just outright removed the blood.
Yeah.
You had to enable a cheat to put blood in the game.
Wasn't there like a mode wasn't there a version of Mortal Kombat where like it was like the blood version and the non-blood version?
Yeah, the Genesis one had
Something
blood.
like that, yeah.
The Genesis one, you could input a code to activate the blood. The Super Nintendo version had no code, but you could get blood via a Game Genie. That's what I remember. And
all those old days where you have
so
like
it's still in the game, but you can't use it.
You needed a Game Genie. Well, what basically all it did was turn the pixels of sweat into red color, so it looked like blood. I mean, that's essentially it. So
that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. Well, my experience with horror, like the very first one, like on the top of my head, there are two games that come in mind. Like, well, actually three, because you actually remind me of Doom, because Doom was definitely freaky. Like, I remember that. But my first one, like before that, was actually Phantasmagoria. If you guys remember
that was like
the point-and-click game with the live-action things?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like maybe because I was a kid, but that was my first
and it was 7
experience.
discs. I remember it was like 10 discs or something like
God.
that.
7 to 10, yeah. It was. I had never played it when I never played it, but I always watched my brother and my sister because they actually loved those point-and-click games back then, and I was just there in the corner watching, and it was freaky because actually Phantasmagoria is about possession.
Yeah, it is.
It was like I was checking the game again when I got older. It's stupid as hell.
What actually makes it scary is how cheap it looks. Like it's so like the backgrounds are so badly made. It looks like a really cheaply made horror film.
Cheaply made horror film, and then like they had those instances where like hurry, you gotta figure out how to get out of there.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you don't, like, all of a sudden your character dies and you have to repeat the whole process like, all over again.
And your character would die in a gruesome fashion. I remember that. Like, it was always rather kind of...
Yeah, when I was a kid,
there was a lot of death animations.
There was one in particular that was, that stood with me for a long time. It's like, the game came out a long time ago, so it's kind of a spoiler. It doesn't really matter anymore at this point.
It's fine.
Like, towards the end, like, she gets caught by the one who's possessed, and she had to figure out a way to, because she gets strapped in the chair, and she's gonna get guillotined by some axe. It's gonna hit, her face, like, head on.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my brother kept on failing over and over, so I kept on saying that over and over, like, head split open, like,
no,
oh my god.
It was her husband, I think, who got possessed, right? Like, it was yeah.
And then the success of that part was pretty much, instead of her getting hit by the axe or the guillotine, not a guillotine, it's like a pendulum thing.
Yeah.
Instead of her getting hit by it, it's actually the husband getting hit. And so that's another blood splatter, and then I was freaking out as a kid.
It traumatized you for life.
Yeah, and then towards the end, like it was going towards the end, and you see a demon, even worse.
A badly rendered 3D demon, which looked really scary at the time because it was all pixelated and you didn't really know what it was.
Yeah,
but I remember that game not so much because of the horror, but because like it advertised itself and it came on 10 discs or some number like that, right?
Because of
Because of all the live action cutscenes.
Yeah, but back in those days, like the more discs you had in your game, like it is kind of emphasized that it would be a better game. Obviously, that's not true, but.
How small were those discs? I don't even remember anymore.
Well, these were regular CDs, right? They weren't DVDs at all. So they were what?
So like
74 MB?
Diskettes.
But yeah, that was one of my first ones. My second one, I'll have to include Resident Evil. But not Biohazard. No, not Biohazard. Like, I actually skipped that.
Well, Biohazard and Resident Evil are the same thing. It's just
Biohazard's just Japanese.
The Japanese
just the Japanese title, yeah, which is actually way better if you think about it.
Makes more sense, yeah, actually.
Than Resident Evil. But then we wouldn't get the Resident Evil. That guy.
It's the same guy who.
Yeah, but we still get Biohazard.
That too, right? Yeah.
Like they couldn't figure it out what name they wanted to just use for both in just different regions. But anyway, I didn't start with Biohazard. Like, my first Resident Evil experience was actually Resident Evil 2.
Oh, really? Okay, you skipped the first one.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I think my parents got me Resident Evil 2. Well, weird parenting, right? Gave me Resident Evil 2, but I played it, and I was freaked out. Like, I couldn't continue the first 2 hours of the game. Especially the part with when you first see the liquor.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of that particular scene, but what I loved about those older Resident Evil games was like the fixed camera angles made it really cinematic.
Definitely.
And the fact that you couldn't exactly always. Yeah, there was always the issue that sometimes the camera angle kind of got in the way and you didn't really see what you were doing, but.
That was the point.
That was kind of the point, right? Yeah, exactly. You couldn't see what was coming around the corner. You could hear something, but you didn't know. And you knew if you just moved a little bit forward, you might see it, but did you really want to see it? You know?
Oh yeah, and you have those like instances where you go to you go from like one camera angle, and you pretty much go to another area. You're going from another camera angle, right? And when that switches, you're automatically all of a sudden like, oh my god, there's like one right beside you, and you freak out, because you didn't see it.
Yeah.
That's gone now. Like, that actually was the formula before for like horror genres, because technically Resident Evil was the start. Was like it was the first one.
It coined the term. Thing. It coined the term, and I think the first one being in just a house, right? The first one was.
Yeah, the first one was just in a mansion.
I think that made it really, really creepy, because like, I mean, the whole haunted house aspect of it, the zombies and everything. That really made it. And I don't know if you guys ever played Alone in the Dark. I think that this was the first one was actually.
The first one?
Was before Resident Evil. I think it was 91, 92 when it was released. And,
it
also had tank controls.
Sorry? Tank controls?
Also, the one where up is always forward.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But that game had a similar thing. Obviously, it had more blocky graphics. Based off Lovecraftian myth, actually, if I recall correctly. So that was actually my introduction to that sort of game. I consider that game to be the first survival horror game. But so when I played Resident Evil for the first time, it wasn't really particularly anything new to me, unfortunately. It just refined it a lot.
But
kind of like Doom also. Like my first FPS game was probably Wolfenstein 3D. So when Doom came around, I was like, oh shit, this looks cool, but it's the same thing, essentially.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, actually, if you're talking about FPS, like the first experience, like for me, it was Doom, and then I actually hit Wolfenstein. Like it was a weird like
reversal
connection. Yeah, it's a reversal, but I was a kid. Like whatever was on my lap, I played, and sadly, Doom, landed on my PC, and then Wolfenstein followed right after.
Yeah. How about you? Did you have any? What was your first like horror game that you can remember?
The first game that actually freaked me out was
that gave you the tension. Like,
the one that would make me look behind my back when I'm in the bathroom.
When in your okay.
Because like you're alone and it's actually the first Silent Hill on the PlayStation 1.
The first Silent Hill,
because like the how they play with the draw distance is, say, it's fog or snow, so you can't see what's in front of you.
I read something interesting about that. That was actually a limitation of the PlayStation 1. that they couldn't have a really big draw distance, so they just hid it by adding the fog, and that worked to their advantage.
It wasn't part of the story. Well.
Yeah, and now it's like a staple for all Silent Hill games. There has to be a fog, right?
Except in Silent Hill 2 HD.
That's weird. That wasn't actually part of the whole design. It was just like we couldn't do it. Like, just add fog.
Well, no, that's why the limitation was like they couldn't get the draw distance
really far.
Originally, so they had to hide it somehow. So they figured out, let's put fog. So it kind of masks it all.
Worked to their benefit,
and it really was a benefit for sure.
Definitely it did, because if you all remember about the Silent Hill HD collection came out, I think that was last year.
Yeah,
and
that was terrible.
They actually like, since you're mentioning it, like I think they fixed that problem of like the view to the point that they lessened.
They fixed it on the PS3.
Yeah, they fixed it on the PS3. They lessened the fog because they have now a big field of view. That actually ruined it. Like, people hated the fact that there was less fog.
It's
not just there was less fog. There was no fog at all.
And that was just one of the major issues with that HD collection. That was one of the sloppiest ports that HD re-releases I've ever.
That was horrible.
Actually,
I don't know why they added more.
I read rumors that they actually had to work off a pre-release of the game rather than the copy of the retail list, because they lost the masters or something like that. I don't know. That's just the rumor I heard.
Who would lose a master of Silent Hill?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
I'm sure it's someone in the Konami office using it as a paperweight or something.
Exactly.
Probably.
Like, oh yeah,
not looking hard enough. Jesus.
It's my coffee cup now.
Silent Hill, it's like one of the, it's one of the defining, games for the genre, because technically, Resident Evil for me gave that whole essence of getting scared, because there's monsters, and every turn you have to check every corner. But Silent Hill, I think, gave that perfect atmosphere. Like, the world around you is like the fog and the static. Like, you don't see anything, you don't see any monsters yet, but you're freaking out already. It's just everything around you is freaking you out already. The static, the fog, and those, like, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's intended, but in Silent Hill, when those monsters start crawling, from one point to the other.
Yeah.
Not really going straight for you, but just for some reason just went past by, and oh shit. I gotta back up.
I actually, to be honest, I don't remember Silent Hill too well. I do remember Silent Hill 2, though, much, much better.
Actually, me too. I finished the first and second one. The second one, I think because I played it more, because I remember playing it 2 or 3 times. The first one I just played it once, and then that was it. And then, because the reason why I played it a couple of times was because it had multiple endings.
All the
Silent Hill 2 is
have
praised for multiple endings.
Yeah, including some really weird ones. There's an alien one and stuff.
The UFO endings.
Yeah,
there was a dog ending.
A lot of weird ones, and I think Silent Hill 2. That's where the image of what's his name, Pyramid Head, really kind of. That's where.
Yeah, that's where he came from.
Exactly right. Yeah, Pyramid Head, that is a definitive monster of the Silent Hill series. And he made such an entrance in Silent Hill 2. So I think that's why I find it very much more of a memorable game than the first one.
No, and the gameplay was more focused on figuring out how to get on the puzzles more or on the combat, because the combat never really amped up as you go on to the game. The story went forward, but the gameplay or the shooting mechanic is still the same. You just have now a rifle or a shotgun. Unlike other games like Resident Evil, where
it all became about combat.
Yeah, combat. You have a grenade launcher and you have rockets, and then pretty much you just destroy whatever big monsters in front of you.
And that's actually something that a lot of these survival horror games, need to realize, or the developers need to realize that you can't empower the player. You need to keep the player weak.
That's what I love.
Emphasize the scares,
That's what I love about Silent Hill. As you progress, you get better guns, you get more ammo, but it does not do a damn thing. You just have more options. You know what I mean? you don't get a grenade launcher to take care of.
And you tend to save them because you know you're gonna need them for the last boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
Well, the rest is, yeah. That's true.
no, that's true. And actually, one thing that I've noticed now is rather than in this generation at least of more modern survival horror, rather than keeping keeping the monsters generally not underpowered. What's the word I'm looking for? Like level powered. Like there's no giant spikes in power of the monsters.
Yeah.
Because they give you so many weapons now. Like the monsters just tend to get ridiculously strong, and like it just removes the sense of scares from you. Actually, I wanted to mention one more game that before and I think this is a good example of what's gone wrong exactly, is the first Diablo. That was really scary, actually.
Oh, actually, no, you're right.
First,
Actually,
I got scared by that.
First, the Diablo was really scary. And then you look now at Diablo 3, like the best example I can give is the Butcher demon, which in
true.
Diablo 1 was hella scary, even though he was
fresh meat.
Yeah, and now in Diablo 3, when he pops up, you're like, whatever. Spam.
No, and in Diablo 3, like, oh my god, you're big, but I'm taking you down.
Right?
Yeah.
There's something lost in translation there. Like, what happened exactly that made the Butcher so scary in part 1, and in part 3, he's just like this, just some big dude that you gotta get through, right?
I don't know, well, since you mentioned the Butcher, I remember when I played the Butcher and I died, what replayed in my head was the scene of Psycho. Like one of the people dying, like all of a sudden you see the killer just come out of nowhere and just hack, the guy's dead and then walks away. That's the whole scene already, like nothing happened. That's the Butcher, like you see the Butcher, you hack, you're dead, that's gone.
Yeah, exactly. You open the door, I remember you open the door to his room,
he just got coming.
Fresh meat, and he's just
rushes
at you. Right?
there's no
then
sequence,
you're just dead.
There's no start, no, it just
But
happens.
I think what made it so scary, actually, when I think about it more, was how they built him up. Like when you first got the mission, there's a dying guy in front of the church who tells you, all my men have been killed by this demon called the Butcher. Yeah. And then, so you already got this anticipation of, okay, there's this really nasty demon down there. And then you talk to the other people in town and they'll tell you stories about it. And that sort of builds it all up. In part 3, rather, like, he's just sort of thrown at you. He's like, okay, here's the Butcher.
He's just an enemy type now.
Yeah, exactly. It's
just like a big monster.
There's no build up to, like, why is he so scary? Why should I be afraid of this guy? Yeah. Why is he a boss at all? Like, only people who have played the first Diablo would ever get that reference, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that reference was lost on a lot of newer Diablo players.
No, and it's sad, like, some of the new ones who actually played, who are playing Diablo now, like, for the first time, won't get the reason why he's in the third game, because it's a memorable character, it's a memorable villain.
Yeah,
in the series that kind of, that made a real mark on a lot of gamers towards, like, in the start of the franchise, and yeah, like, you're right. I did get freaked out on Diablo. I remember those times where you're walking around, like, slowly, and it's all dark.
Yeah, and they kind of built it up also that it wasn't, the fantastical element of Diablo didn't really come into play until the second one. The first one, they kept it within that one location, just inside the church.
Yeah, you're going lower and lower.
Right, and it was a church, so there was already that sort of Christian, hell, demon connotation there. Yeah. Which just makes it a lot scary, which makes it really much scarier if you ask me. When they started to, bring in the whole fantasy aspect, like there's 3 evils, and,
when they start putting the lore in.
It suddenly, it lost a lot of that scariness.
Yeah, it became action. And which is what happened to the whole genre in itself.
And yeah, exactly. And I think you can see that pattern in just about every horror game. Like Resident Evil, the first couple were really bad, really scary. The first one, again, kept the same idea. It's in one location, right?
Yeah.
Silent Hill has kind of kept that going throughout in the sense that it's all taken place.
It's always in the
Silent Hill, right?
Yep.
Except but they still try to, like, bridge out by making 2 variations of Silent Hill. Like, that's they try to, how to make it unique was, like, it's still in Silent Hill, but let's make 2 variations of it, like the Hell one and the normal one, and, but they never strayed away. They never strayed away from what they were.
And I think one thing that kept Silent Hill, what has kept Silent Hill relatively scary, although, to be fair, the later ones in the series are not as scary, but the earlier ones is that they never really explain what the hell's going on. you know, like
because story-wise, it's very dependent on the character.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
On its reason, on his reason on why he's there.
Yeah, it's their own personal hell every time.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like it's their own personal hell.
Right.
And
but I mean, like the monsters are constant. Like Pyramid Head, he's pretty much in everyone now, right?
Yeah, now, especially since the movie came out.
And they never really explain what he is. He's just this ominous figure, and then you do get kind of hints here and there about him. Kind of like you do meet other people in Silent Hill, but they're all weirdos, right? But I don't know which one it was, but there was one where you pick up you find a note or something, and it says "Beware of the Pyramid," or something like that. And when you finally see Pyramid Head, you're like, "Oh shit, that's what it was talking about."
Yeah, and there's also like drawings in the walls, right? Like pyramids.
Yeah, the drawings on the wall. Yeah.
And then you're like wondering, what the fuck's that? And all of a sudden you see this guy with this huge sword and it's chasing. Okay, my shotgun can't do nothing with that. Let's run away with my two shells. What am I gonna do with that? It has a formula, the survival horror, where I think Silent Hill was the only one that's like it's being stubborn in that aspect, or
that it's kept the horror thing well. Well, I'll argue that Fatal Frame so far. Well, we haven't seen a new Fatal Frame in a long time, to be honest. But
but it never strayed away.
It never strayed away. Yeah, but you have to admit that the later Silent Hills like Downpour and
Homecoming.
The other one, Homecoming. Yeah, they were really not as good as the others. And I mean, why do you think that is? What got lost in translation?
Homecoming was made by a different developer, and they put an emphasis on combat.
Right.
Which Silent Hill has never been about combat. So that in itself already kind of ruined the thing. And with Downpour, they tried to go back, but, combat was still, it played a bigger part than in most Silent Hill games. So
it seems the big jump really was from the PlayStation to Xbox to the Xbox 360 PS3.
Yeah, the next
There's something there about like, oh, they have all this new technology to play and, let's make a new survival horror game and it doesn't work. Or like it doesn't work as well for some odd reason.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure why. Yeah, but that's definitely one reason is the emphasis on combat. But
no, but it was funny because
you would think that the developers would be smart enough to realize that these games combat is never going to be a major thing.
But I guess those are just some developers who are just being stubborn. Like, we have to change something, but we don't want to change the scenario or like the ambience of the whole game. So let's try to make it more like if the publishers want us to like draw more attention, let's try to work on the combat. And I think that's what happened.
Do you think it's an attempt to appeal
with this make it sell? Like games with
exactly.
guns sell.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think it's like a trying to appeal to the bro gamer crowd, the Call of Duty gamer crowd, or
probably? No, I think it's just more like to give players more power or more control, so they won't feel like you want to drop it. You want to drop the controller because you're kind of freaked out or you kind of like don't want to move forward.
Yeah, but that was the point, right? That was the point, was to freak you out.
Yeah, I know, but like, but if you put that kind of like easy, like it's a good combat, you have more power onto it, you'll have more people coming in. But it's a horrible balance in a sense where the people that love the horror genre are like going away from it, but now you're getting a whole new different crowd,
right?
Which might or might not like it, which is, I don't know. I guess that was like in terms of Homecoming, it was like it's just them being stubborn, but they are kind of forced to try to change because everything around them are already changing. Even though it's bad or for worse, like, like they need to move forward at least some way. So that's how I understood, like what they were trying to do with Homecoming.
Right.
Downpour, I don't know. I have to play it. That's why I want to actually play it first before I actually give my opinions on it, because it just seems like another Silent Hill game, a little bit more higher graphics with side quests. That's in my first impression without touching the game so far. So maybe I'll revisit that.
I think it's also their attempt to try to fix a lot of the issues players had with the original games. Like, we mentioned bad camera angles and the fact that a lot of survival horror games tend to have really crappy controls. It's a little slow. And
actually, the crappy controls actually go for their favor.
But exactly right. They're trying to fix these things without realizing that the crappy controls and bad angles really change the atmosphere of the whole game, right? So
yeah, because Capcom, seriously, giving yourself like a roll or a way to dodge or roll when you're in the ground and stuff like that, being all cool, does not make it scary. Like, doesn't matter. Like, you can put them in a fucking manner. I'm gonna stop there. I'm just pretty mad at RE6. I'm just gonna stop there. I'm just gonna rant all night.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, we should cover our Resident Evil, I think, more in the next episode, but definitely Capcom is doing it wrong. You know, they went one was great, 2 was okay, 3 was kind of crappy, then 4 was really good, then 5 was...
4 was a good balance.
Yeah, 5 was okay, then 6 is just, what the hell happened here, right?
Yeah, like seriously.
But do you think also like going back to Silent Hill, like do you think it's also an issue of just the series is just running its course, like, you know, and there's just not anything much left to milk out of it? You know, do you think they should just let it rest for a few years and then maybe reboot it in the next upcoming generation, like reboot it completely?
I think a reboot would be good.
Right.
I think a reboot would be good. Like, keep everything on what made the first one really good. Like, weird controls, horrible control, and like not much power in the character. Great story, a very simple personal story, and that atmosphere where you're just alone, surrounded by fog, you can't see anything, and you have this static that you know if there's anything.
Yeah, actually,
and you cannot see it still.
That static thing was. I remember
so
a lot of people were always telling me that they couldn't sleep with the TV on if it was on white noise static because Silent Hill. Right.
That's why I said earlier that Silent Hill was like the one that created the perfect atmosphere. Because Resident Evil is more of the monsters. Like you have these weird monsters going after you, just like freaking out. But Silent Hill, like your mind goes all over because of the thanks to the atmosphere. Like you're like freaking out. Like, is there something behind me? Is there like you're scaring yourself in a sense because thanks to the sounds and the environment and
you're scared of what you can't see.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's really the greatest fear of all, right? The fear of the unknown.
The fear of unknown and your mind in itself, just creating these weird visions and like what ifs that could happen to you like as you move forward in the game. Like I think that's one of the reasons like how like some of the indie titles like Amnesia works and like the other new ones that are just really scared, but because you're freaking out, like you don't see them, but when something happens, like oh my god, you know, where is he? And then, of course, he's like behind you when you notice.
I am really hopeful that the upcoming generation will be a new renaissance for the genre. I mean, the technology is there to really showcase the visuals of whatever horror creations the developers come up with. So,
I hope.
It's just a matter of putting it together properly and going back to basics, essentially.
Yeah, going back to basics. Just figure out stick to your roots and then just create a nice personal story. Because what's better than a personal story that's trying to pretty much survive or trying to, simply scare the hell out of you, if you want to put it that way. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't have to put combat always. Like, there's a lot of games out there that just show that the story is just enough and combat can just be a side. Could be somewhat like an obstacle that will prevent you from moving forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's one thing, you can tell right away. When you're in combat, I remember in the older Silent Hills, when you did get into combat, you felt relieved after you finished it, you felt like, oh god, thank god I'm still alive, oh my god, I'm gonna go save now, or I'm gonna go get an herb or something. Now in the newer ones, it's like, oh man, combat again, I gotta fight this damn thing again, whatever,
Yeah, like I had so much ammo anyway, I'll just throw it at you. Oh, you're dead. Okay, cool. Another batch around the corner. But yeah, that's how the horror is now.
Yeah, I think it's also just zombies in general are kind of getting old, I mean, zombies are like okay, in Silent Hill, they aren't technically zombies, but for all intents and purposes, they act like zombies, right?
Yeah, they act like...
But for me, I think zombies are just
oversaturated,
and zombies just are not scary anymore. Like,
well, they're just not because there's like the zombie creature is just so loud now. It's so crowded.
They're screechy and they run.
No, they're screechy. No, not loud as in like person, like physically loud. I mean like loud in the sense that everywhere, like whenever you think about a zombie, you can definitely beat the crap out of it. And feel good about it.
But, I mean, there are some games that have done the zombie thing really well. Left 4 Dead, I think, has one of the games which have the best zombies that I've seen.
No, because they walk to you like a swarm.
No, that and then
they don't walk. They run.
They run.
They dash.
They run, and then even like the special zombies like the witch or the witch especially is always
scary
freaky
for different reasons.
Yeah, but like for me, like that's one game that has done zombies right.
There's a few exceptions, definitely.
Well, Resident Evil is the one who did it right because it stayed true to what it was, what the zombies were. What the problem with Resident Evil was it evolved, even the zombies evolved to the point that they're running or it wasn't zombies at all. It's weird. Like they didn't like even the zombies, like in terms of like the survival horrors, even the creatures evolve into something that's not funny anymore, not scary anymore. It's more like it's just for the combat. You know what I mean?
Well, part of also the reason why Resident Evil lost its fear was because they explained all of it. Right? The zombies are a virus. That's what it is, essentially.
It's a biohazard.
Actually, yeah, but I want to save the Resident Evil for later.
Yeah.
Actually, Resident Evil is a huge part of the survival horror. It was like I said a while ago that it literally was one of the first franchises that actually put its genre as survival horror. And it paved way for other games like, I don't know, Dino Crisis and even, I guess, Fatal Frame, because that camera angle, that concept on how when you move from one room to the other, it's like a stationary camera angle.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And that it's a very defining of that. And I want to talk about the whole like evolution of it, because when they took that out, we know what happened. Like we know how the result of that is. And we'll talk about that like in the next episode. That's gonna be long. So we're gonna talk about that from Resident Evil 1 all the way to that crap game that came out last year.
That shall not be named.
Yeah. It's 75% off in Steam right now. And it's $9. And
$9 is still not worth it.
No.
Go buy something else. Go buy the cat lady game.
So I'm telling you, like, I'm not saying I hate it because I'm not a person that I hate it because I have played it. I've played it before. I actually went to a friend. He said, "You want to play co-op with Resident Evil 6?" Like, oh, cool. Close the lights and everything. I'm telling you, man, the first 3 hours, like, you want to play Street Fighter? Like, yeah, let's play Street Fighter.
I can vouch for that. RE6 is a terrible, terrible game.
Yeah.
It was not, like, RE5 was fun, at least.
Let's save that. Let's save that though for next week. So what for you would be like the standout Silent Hill moment for you though? Like apart from like is there any in whatever game, like, whichever game this is, which was the standout moment for you? I'll tell you mine. Mine was like I don't remember which one it was specifically. I think it actually was Homecoming, to be fair. It's on part where you're walking in this hospital exploring it and there's got these mannequin things dressed up in nurse outfits and
Okay.
And they kind of animate back up and they're all twitchy and with knives and they're just like sort of stumbling towards you and that really freaked the shit out of me. You know? Like
when you go close like towards the middle of the room, then they start acting up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just the idea of a nurse, like a murderous nurse already is kind of scary as it is, right? I mean, it's such a dichotomy to what a nurse should be. A nurse should be.
Yeah, they had no face as well, right? It was pretty much like literally a mannequin, like a bloody mannequin.
Yeah, and like their face were all wrapped up in bloody bandages, right? So you couldn't tell what their faces were.
The Silent Hill series had a great like roster of monsters that just freak you out, like grotesque monsters, and then there were big honcho with a triangle head showing up every now and then. That's Wolf Force.
Yeah, and sometimes the monsters, like, you don't even know what they are. They're like these, like,
They're
arms.
just like moving chunks of meat.
Yeah. They're just like arms coming out at weird angles or like feet sticking up.
Yeah, like arms, like, coming out of places where it should not come out of. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, with that, whoever designed that was like, fucked. But for me, the fighting moment for Silent Hill Like, did you say that defining moment?
Yeah, what do you think? Well, not for the defining moment, like a standout moment for you in that series. Like what?
This is actually more like not a scary thing, but like more of a funny thing in Silent Hill 2. I think it was like this. I think the school or was it the hospital? Like I was like freaking out because all the doors were locked.
Okay.
I'm like, is there any door open in this damn place? Like, I remember being stuck for like 2 hours, like going in and out. Like, I don't know where to go. The map is so like, it wasn't helping me at all. Like, it was crossing out the doors. For some reason, I couldn't figure it out. Like, it's like the whole series, like, you'll always find like, I don't know, 90% of all the doors locked. And then the ones you need, or like maybe 2 or 3 that kind of like will give you like items and stuff like will be open. But it just kind of gives like time for like monsters to show up. Because like with like Silent Hill 2, like when you go revisit a place, there's actually monsters that show up out of nowhere randomly.
Yeah.
So I got freaked out and fed up because like, God damn it, where do I go? Because I keep going to those places where everything's locked, and I go to another place. Like, okay, there's a monster, I have to go back again, and I go to the place where it's all locked, and then it gets confusing, and then yeah, but it was fun though. That's my kind of defining moment, because I just, whenever I think about Silent Hill, like, that's gonna be a lot.
It's locked doors.
It's locked doors galore.
It's like, okay, I'm not gonna even bother with these doors. I know they're locked. Just keep walking.
It's locked doors. What about you, Miggy?
Mine in Silent Hill was like, we have an LP of Silent Hill 3 on the YouTube channel. One of my best moments was last year. You have to go in this office building to cross a construction site or something stupid like that. But like, we're in the hell world where everything is all rusty, right? And Silent Hill has the radio, which starts making noise if there's a monster nearby.
Fun.
So we just got out of an elevator, and like, you can hear the radio just freaking out. So of course, we can't see anything past the corner of where the camera was pointing at the door. So we just bring our like katana out, and we're like, what is that? Where is it? And you can hear like this really loud scream aside from just the radio freaking out. And when we finally manned up and went around the corner, there's this like tied up woman trapped in a meat vagina strung up on the wall. Yeah.
That sounds like something out of Duke Nukem, like meat vagina.
It's like meat with teeth.
Okay, I gotta rate this episode now. Thank you.
It's like strung up, and there's this bloody lady screaming, constantly screaming, like she won't shut up.
Vagina. Well, that's a scientific term to it, at least.
Let's Google that.
Sure.
Again, Rostique monsters from Silent Hill. It's just weird. Even in the movie, it had weird.
Yeah, like 3 had a lot of penis-themed monsters.
Oh, nice.
A girl. What? Yeah, they teach you that in sex ed, guys.
Yeah. But that's the one thing, like in Silent Hill, like if you compare to other horror games, where it gives you like those cheap scare jumps. In Silent Hill, like, thanks to static, like, you freak out because you don't know where it is. Then the jump start happens.
Yeah.
Like
the pre-jump scare.
Yeah, like, you don't, like, expect, like, okay, this corner will be a jump. No, like, the static. Where the fuck is it? Like, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Then by the time you hear it, it's close enough to hurt you.
Yeah, like, you have no time to prepare.
I think that was actually one of Silent Hill's, what it brought to the table was that static, that you knew whenever you heard static, something bad was
something is in the room.
Yeah.
And it tends to troll you sometimes, where it'll freak out your radio, but there's no monster at all.
Yeah, there's actually those moments where like it was actually there's nothing there. It's like maybe like something passed by.
It's like something below the metal grate floor that can't hurt you.
Passed by the corridor just to get a coffee in the vending, and then just went back inside the room.
Monsters are on break.
Yeah, monsters on break. Like, there's no one here. We'll take a break. We'll talk more about the...
I'd like to make one last point that might excite a bit of you. In September 2012, Hideo Kojima was asked if he would like to direct the next Silent Hill game, which he said he would love to, actually. So, we might see...
2012?
In last year, yeah. He was asked if he would like to do a Silent Hill installment. So, and he said he'd love to, so... We might see a Fox Engine, Kojima directed Silent Hill, which
please.
which might be really weird, Considering this is Hideo Kojima.
Long cutscenes for Silent Hill, like.
There'll be like Snake. There'll be probably references to his other works in there. So
a stealth game.
You'll see cardboard boxes everywhere.
You'll see police not posters.
Cardboard boxes and like there's gonna be an exclamation point on one of the zombies, I'm sure, or one of the monsters he'll create.
Anyways, there's nothing confirmed with that. There's nothing confirmed with that, but he did say he would be interested if he was offered something to do with that.
That might be true since Metal Gear 5 is rumored to be the last Metal Gear game he'll ever work on.
Well, they said that like about 4
times.
Yeah, they said it about everything, I guess.
Like,
well,
he'll never get away from the MGS. He'll die. He'll never stop making MGS games because when he stops, he will get death threats and his fans will go after him.
Yeah, he will
That's
stop.
how horrible the community is. They're like, you can't let the guy go.
It's not that he won't stop. Konami won't make him stop.
Exactly.
The fans won't make him stop.
They'll lock him in a room and you make a Metal Gear.
6 and 7.
6, 7, 8, and 9.
Quadruple. No trilogy.
Metal Gear 2 HD again.
Yeah, we're gonna put a break here now. We'll talk more about the horror genre because it's like October. It's like the horror week for us. It's a little special treat. We'll talk more about the Resident Evil series like in the next episode. Coming up, we'll be talking about news that showed up this week and what released this week. So stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back.
We're back, and
you guys just missed the best conversation of your life.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna add it.
During the break, Biggs was trying to find pictures of the wall vagina, the meat vagina.
Or I think it's a sack of balls. I don't know. It's just a weird conversation. I think I was talking about Legend of Korra at one point. It went weird from there.
Yes, we were talking about the Legend of Korra.
Oh God!
Japan, the land of the infinitely weird and disgusting.
News.
We love you, Japan. We love you and your penis monsters and everything else.
I think I'm gonna put I'll stop. News. News.
Yeah, what's you? What's you besides penis monsters?
A high-res version. Crap. My first up is back to GTA 5. But I'm gonna do it really quick because I really don't want to talk about GTA 5. But with all the issues of like disconnects, the technical issues, Rockstar is planning to give like some kind of compensation. Like all you guys are gonna get half
a million in-game dollars.
Yeah, no, $500,000. They're not that generous. Yeah,
well, that's a lot. You can buy an apartment with that.
Yeah, you can buy like
quite a lot of money. Yeah, for in-game.
It's hard to make $500,000 in GTA 5 online.
I'm not even 100,000 because it's just
no, especially like I always felt the heists, like the group heists, they tend to be very underpaying when you consider all the costs that go into.
Oh yeah, just for bullets alone.
You know.
Yeah, money's really hard to get in GTA 5. It's weird. Like even online and even in single player, like when you do those heists, that's when you get the big bucks.
Yeah.
But if you don't do the heists, you're like
scrounging. You get chump change.
Like you kind of want to get a taxi job or something just to get some money going. But yeah, you guys are getting like all of us. I'm not sure when.
Will this be retroactive? Like if someone bought the game next week, would they still get the 500K?
No. Only the ones who's currently playing now.
I see.
Oh, for the month of October, if you've logged in for the month of October.
There. That's more accurate, yeah. But it's I'm not too sure when it's going to be like rolling out, but technically that 500,000 will show up in your bank account.
What they'll do is they'll send an update of the game, and they'll give out the 500K in 2 waves. So essentially, you'll be getting $250,000 twice. Not just one big 500K.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. As long as it adds up, right? So.
Yeah, money.
Do you think it's enough though for the people who are kind of stressed out by this whole?
It's a start.
It's a start for people who are like the hardcore like haters right now. It's probably not enough. But
at least you can have an apartment with a garage, then that's already.
For everyone else, I'm pretty sure that'll be fine. I'm okay with that. Shit, I'm not
okay with that too.
That's true, because like we've had like, because it's not only like technical issues like disconnects. We have actually had people losing their characters, and we have like, I'm talking about characters like level 50. They lost.
Yeah.
So
I
I
know
guess
someone who lost a level 32 character. That's so sad.
I think I know who you're talking to. yeah. But yeah, I guess good job, Rockstar, giving in-game credits.
Yep,
Just fix the damn servers. Because I
Better
still
than
have
nothing, right?
better than nothing.
You've done a lot better than Blizzard because they never gave anyone shit for the Diablo 3 thing.
Yeah, they gave a virtual sorry. That's what they did.
Yeah, and
I apologize for the inconvenience.
And even EA, actually, for the SimCity thing, they gave you... Well, they did give you a free game, but it was like an old game, so... I don't know if that was worth it, but yeah.
What free game?
They gave a choice of different games. I forgot which one. I got Plants vs. Zombies, because I didn't have that on the PC.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I didn't get anything, because I had everything already.
I think it was Peggle, Plants vs. Zombies, or some other thing that no one gives a shit about.
Peggle. And they're horrible, like, their choices sometimes. But yeah, GTA Online, you're getting compensation. Bear with it. I suggest though that you wait like a week or two still. Like, do not bother. Like, I'm having a hard time still.
Oh,
And
I'm
the
having
GTA
a good, okay time going into GTA 5 Online on PS3.
Yeah, okay. Well, Xbox, kind of wonky for me still. Like, I can still go into the free roam, but the job servers, like they go offline, and I'm stuck to do whatever I can do in the free roam, which is technically really short. I mean, small amount of stuff I can do.
Right.
So, whatever. But yeah, GTA 5, putting it aside again. Talk about it too much. What else we got here? I think, well, for all you fighting game, fanatics, if whoever's interested in Killer Instincts, it's a weird news. They just revealed the Pin Ultimate Edition.
Right.
And the reason why I want to mention it, because it's a weird stuff. It's obviously a free-to-play game. It's a digital download game. And they're giving a different version so you can get a box of it. Does not include a disc, you just get a box.
So what's the point of the...
There's a full game download code inside the box.
Right.
It doesn't actually include. So
you can just have it on your shelf.
There's no physical copy.
Yeah, it's just a download code.
God.
But you can put it on your shelf and point it out and
and pretend it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Killer Instinct is an Xbox One exclusive. It's going to be available on release when the console comes out. And what's amazing about this free-to-play fighting game is if you don't pay a single cent, you get one character.
Jago versus Jago forever.
Forever. Now, of course, you can, if you really love the game, you can just buy it. You can spend $40 for the first 8 characters that come with the game. But now it's a digital bundle download or whatever. But if for some reason, if someone wants a box, you can add $20.
But
or whatever that converts when it goes to the Philippines.
But this box actually has more than just a box. It actually comes with pins, lapel pins, which have been apparently designed by the Penny Arcade guys. Which is, for me, not exactly the biggest incentive to go out and...
So I know, it's like I'm sure Penny Arcade's pins were awesome, they look nice. But we're talking about a $20 increase in the price.
That's a hefty price tag.
I think I'll be fine if the disc was part of it. Like, just the disc, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, you gotta remember, not all of us have awesome internet who can download this game, right? I mean, having a disc on hand would be so much better.
And I thought the Xbox One allowed you to share games now.
Oh, Microsoft.
Come on, Microsoft.
Well, one other interesting thing here people have been mentioning out is the, you've seen the box art. It's pretty plain. It just says Killer Instinct, pin, but it's got these little logos in the background, which each one supposedly representing a character of the game. And
okay, yeah, I see it now, yeah.
Yeah, right now there are two symbols there that don't really match up with any of the characters. Because right now there's a tiger, which is Jago. There's tomahawks for Chief Thunder, etc. Right?
Oh, so you're saying that they might actually include new characters?
They're hinting at it because there's one which is an atomic symbol, which sort of looks like an atomic symbol, and there's another one that looks like a skull and crossbones. So people are thinking this might be the return of Spinal, if you remember that character from
the skeleton.
The skeleton guy, and then Cinder, which was basically a living nuclear like
like a pyro guy.
Iron guy, yeah, exactly. So that might be kind of cool that they're hinting at that. But even so, like $40 for a fighting game with only 8 characters in this day and age seems really small.
Is that really their starting roster? 8?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's horrible.
I mean,
I heard it's due to time
8,
constraints.
But remember,
sure,
8
but that's horrible.
it is pretty terrible. And 8, 8 was like the original lineup of like Street Fighter 2 regular edition. You know?
No, but like here's their excuse. Because you have the infinite power of the cloud, they can update the game without like releasing a Super Street Fighter 4 version or something like that.
I hate that word. They keep saying, Microsoft keeps saying the
Infinite
cloud.
power of the cloud.
Yeah. And you know, it would be boring also online if everyone's playing Jago, right? I mean, like,
nobody's gonna buy the game.
Jago will be instantly, automatically be the can of the game.
Top tier. Tier
it's
1,
it's not top tier, it's Jago tier.
It's can tier.
Jago tier. Jago tier. Exactly.
It's another freebie. Like every single Jago character, no matter if you buy it or not, will be, it's a free character.
There will be no mix-ups.
It's nothing.
Everybody knows Jago.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I've listened to some of the sound clips from the game and it sounds amazing. Like they remixed a bunch of they've got that heavy metal feel, combined with that kind of almost ominous doom sound, and with remixes from the older games. It sounds fantastic. Like, I mean, I hope I can put some YouTube links, later for everyone else to check it out. But the music is so good, like, for this game and so it's kind of sad to see it, like, turning into this sort of weird experimental launch title, you know? Especially for such a not a distinct name, but such a, it's a classic name, it's a classic series, so to see it resurrected in such a fashion is kind of almost
and the wrong types of models that would just, that would ruin the concept
yeah.
Like
and for all we know, it might be a
5
really
Ultimate
good
had 4 characters.
Which one, sorry? Dead or Alive Ultimate?
Dead or Alive 5, they had 4 characters also, so...
But how is that doing?
Why not just make it 2?
How is that doing? Because I know you can buy a retail box, which is basically everyone, right? Or you can get the free version online, which is like 4 characters, and then you can upgrade, right?
It's like 4 characters, and they occasionally have 2 free for like every month. And the 2 keeps changing.
Right.
See, that's the reason why free-to-play works in terms of those kinds of games, those competitive kinds of games. It gives you options whenever the rotation changes. Like, that's how League of Legends worked well.
Yeah, but the thing is, but
the
difference also is Dead or Alive has a pretty full roster of guys. I think it's got at least 20 plus characters.
Yeah, 20 plus, nearly 30 characters.
Right? And
but
this is 8.
That's 8. And that's your full game.
Yeah,
and if your free version, you have no choice. You just have to learn Jago. Like,
they could have at least made it 2 characters, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Jago Saberwolf or something.
Perfect, right? Because those are the 2 characters that they've been showing the most of.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Jago here for life.
When they announced that Killer Instinct was going to be a free-to-play, it kind of made sense because, Tekken and Dead or Alive was actually like rolling out their like free versions.
Right.
So I think, it makes sense. Like I see now the fighting games going to that kind of direction. But not 1 character.
Yeah.
Come on.
And not when your full roster is only 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
Release it on PS4 for $20. I'd buy that.
That's never gonna happen, but yeah.
Hopefully, like, within the cloud, they can update the game better. I don't know, shit. I'm sorry.
The infinite power of the cloud.
Like, I think the Killer Instinct series would have been like strong enough to the point where you can sell it for a $60 game. Boom. Why not? It's a fighting game. It can be like just a regular game that you can buy. I don't understand the whole free-to-play thing, the restrictions, and I don't know. I think it's just a waste of a nice franchise.
Well,
moving on.
For all we know, the game can still be really good. Like we haven't played it, so there's let's not judge it too quickly. But
no, I think the gameplay will be good. It's just like everything around it. It's just making it
like
look bad.
it's doing everything else wrong except for the gameplay.
Right.
Yeah, because I think the gameplay looks nice. Like I think the
I want to play it.
well.
You know, it's
Yeah,
the
it
only
looks really
Xbox One game I want to
fast-paced.
play.
It's just like characters are like limited, and there's only one character. That's the only thing that's all I'm ranting about. Like really, that's all I'm really ranting.
That's not
about.
even a very interesting character. It's Jago. It's like the most
freaking
the most generic. Yeah, can you imagine getting like Super Street Fighter 4 free, but you can only play Ryu?
Ryu
like
tier.
Yeah, even Daigo would hate Ryu now if you do that.
Mirror matches all day.
Yeah, like fuck that. Next up, what else we got there within this week? Something big, which I think I want to discuss with you guys. Activision actually bought a big chunk of shares from Vivendi. Sorry.
I had no idea Vivendi was still around.
Yeah, they're still around, but pretty much what this purchase does is Activision has no one now to answer to. It's like them now as a company, as a gaming company.
Right.
Because pretty much Vivendi is pretty much like the parent company.
So how do you think that will affect its development schedule? Or
That's why I think it's very interesting. Because I just really don't know. Like, is this maybe a more lighter version of Activision-Blizzard without Vivendi having any kind of say of like big decisions of like projects or whatever? Because what they're trying to do is like with this whole deal, they're just trying to
be more independent, I'm guessing, right? They're just trying to be more independent.
Being more independent.
But what was Vivendi shackling them to? Because that's the part that's really unclear. Was like, was Vivendi the one saying them, dude, you got to pull out Call of Duty every year, like, or
that's the thing.
That's Activision's own prerogative, right? You know, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm hoping to see out of this, at least, like, I'm pretty sure it's not the end of the yearly Call of Duties. I'm sure it's not the end of World of Warcraft. It's probably going to mean, though, Activision is going to be taking a few more risks in terms of publishing new IPs, which is good. You know, I think that's a great thing if they try out different ideas and new worlds and new lore. Because right now, the only thing I can think of that they put out. Well, right now they even got the Spyro games, like those little figures that you can. You know what I'm talking about? The Spyro, the giant lander stuff.
Like the Disney Infinity kind of.
Yeah. That's also making them big money too. But I'm just that personally I'm hoping that we'll see a few more new IPs coming out of them, a little bit more risk taking.
Well, they have a big partnership with Bungie, creating Destiny.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the right direction.
What I've seen is actually not that impressive, to be honest.
I don't know what the hell that is yet.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the good direction to go to. I mean, that's definitely a risk right there. But you know,
like flop or not, it's still new IPs.
Exactly. And I think we're getting to the point. Well, I don't know. Is Call of Duty really starting to lose its appeal? Because
no.
It's not, right? That's the sad thing. I keep wanting every year. I keep saying, "Yeah, this is the year Call of Duty dies." Nope, it just keeps selling more and more.
Even when Infinity Ward or whoever's making the current Ghost game says that as the player walks underwater and the fishes like just react to your character, like making that sound like innovation for them.
Dude, they got a dog. Did you hear? They have a dog now.
Call of Duty dog.
They have a dog?
They have it's called...
They have a Call of Duty dog.
It's Call of Duty dog. It's called Call of Duty. No, I don't know what it's called.
Call of Doggy.
That's innovation.
Call of Doggy, yeah. But like apparently this dog has like how many more pixels to it or whatever.
Yeah, you can like see inside of his ear or whatever.
I remember they actually put like a comparison to the Call of Duty Ghost dog to whatever dog they had before, and I was like, yeah, they look the same. Like when I zoom in, like, okay, I see the detail, but they're still dogs.
Still a dog.
They're still one's more equipped.
I'm telling you, I know that they're either gonna kill the dog or they're
Oh yeah, because they said you're gonna feel an attachment to the dog.
Yeah,
so we're gonna kill it.
the dog's gonna like save your ass or something and then die.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he'll
That's
die.
my prediction right now. The
I'll
dog's
bet
gonna
my
die.
money on the dog multiplying.
I would pay for a Call of Doggy multiplayer mode though, where you're all dogs.
Where you're all dogs with guns.
Exactly.
I want a kill streak where that dog,
And then you'll be like different breeds, like each one will have like different powers.
You're
Right.
a Pomeranian dog.
Like, like a Pomeranian, which is like the
small,
stealth
tiny,
dog.
furry ones.
we're really excited about this mode. We're all dogs in this one.
You win with your cuteness.
Cuteness. But yeah, moving, rewinding for a bit. This move with Activision-Blizzard and like getting its own, like pretty much separating itself from the Vivendi, like their parent company. I just hope that, like what we said, that there's more freedom. And like, we won't see the really bad version of Activision. No more.
And Call of Doggy is the perfect way to go about showing us that, Activision. Go do it right now.
Yeah. What else we have here in news?
Dragon's Crown, finally getting crossplay, which
Oh yeah. I'm actually pretty excited.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I thought it was available right off the bat.
Yeah, I thought that was already a thing. Apparently it wasn't.
well, I mean, I don't really know how much use you can get out of that, because you can already play 4-player Dragon's Crown on your PS3 anyway, so...
Yeah, Dragon's Crown's getting a cross-play patch, which is already available in Japan, but they just announced that now the North American versions will be getting, the English versions will be getting this feature.
Is that something that you think will really see a lot of use? Like, because I know there's also crossplay with like the Wii U Monster Hunter and the 3DS Monster Hunter, but I never see or hear anyone actually using that feature. You know?
No, but I know. But, when we talk about like crossplay, I just think that if you're releasing it on your handheld and you're releasing it on your console, and you have this crossplay feature that can happen,
It's a nice thing to have.
Yeah,
That's just it. It's a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
Oh wait, when you mean crossplay, that means I can take my save from the PS3, put it on my Vita, and play it like when I'm out on town. Is that what it means, or
not
does
sure.
it mean I can play with my Vita?
You can play
my
with your
friend on the
PS3 friends on your Vita. I think that's what it is.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, cause the feature before, like, you can transfer your file from your PS3 to your Vita. That's before. You can actually do that now. Like, there's actually a mode where it says import. You can actually do
it syncs up your save game.
Yeah.
But crossplay wasn't a thing yet.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a cool feature to have. I can't say I can see a lot of people actually using it, but, you know, it being there is definitely something interesting.
They're trying to make Vita viable.
No, wait. To clarify, like, when I say crossplay, it means, I think you can connect now from PS3 users to PS Vita users as well. Meaning, like, if you go online, you actually will play with someone that's actually on the couch or something. You know what I mean?
With their own save game on the Vita.
Yeah, it's not cross-buy, it's cross-play, which is actually a pretty cool feature. Which is a feature, like I said again, should be essential. Should be like a standard
Yeah,
thing.
that should just be a thing already. I thought that was already a thing.
I thought it was too. Like,
oh well.
Yeah. But yeah, it's coming. Whoever's like has both games.
Whoever has a Vita.
Yeah, you can play with the PS3.
You can now play with your other friends.
Yep.
Your other friends. What else we have
who
here?
all own PlayStations.
Yes.
Actually, I still play Dragon Trail like every now and then. Like whenever
I still need to buy that game.
Me too. I still play it a lot. Like when my friends are over, because it's one of the few co-op games that I have. It's back to old school. We feel like you're back in the arcade playing.
Yep,
one of those side-scrolling beat-em-ups, and it's great. It's great fun.
Which is because I don't have a PS3 anymore because my PS3 just died of old age, and but I still like I actually have it with a friend because with a friend who has a PS3. So whenever I come over, like, I actually came over like last week, and we played it. It was like a lot of fun, and then we had a couple of friends. We had a 4-player co-op, and it was chaotic, but it was fun. Like, you know, it's like it's a good thing to have. Like in your living room, and then when your friends over, and then you want to kill shit. Like, yeah, let's go, let's kill shit. Bam. So it was a cool investment, definitely. Even if I don't have it, and whoever wants that arcade feel, like the Dungeons and Dragons feel, you definitely should check this out. It's pretty good. And my review's actually up there, and on our blog site. That's pretty cool. What else do we have? Squaresoft?
Square Enix.
Want to talk about Squaresoft?
Squeenix.
Yeah, there was a quote recently given by the Square Enix president that they have to reform with urgency. We'll give
That's
you
why I'm laughing with that. Yeah.
reform with
Oh,
urgency.
now they think about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll put up the link to the article. This was on Siliconera, so you guys can all read it.
Yeah.
But essentially, I mean, he's got the right idea. They do. Square Enix has been I would say suffering, but they're still stuck in this old paradigm of the classic Japanese corporation, which is very vertical, very hierarchical and slow to move, slow to change. And in today's day and age, that's just not cutting it anymore, especially in the video game industry. So I'm happy to hear that the president understands this now, and here's hoping we can see this change sooner than later.
I think Square is like the only publisher and developer that just it really shows that how stubborn they are, or how old school they are.
Well, there's always Nintendo, but
Well, Nintendo is just a whole different beast. It's just I think they made.
And Nintendo has a safety net they can fall back on, which is their first-party software and games.
Right.
Yep. I think they have two safety nets. They fall on Zelda or they fall on Mario.
Yeah, Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda, every year.
Actually, yeah, 3 or 4. They have a lot of safety nets.
All their first parties, unlike Square, which they tried to fall on Final Fantasy and it's just not working.
And it failed. Thanks to their latest series, because they're I don't know what they can do right now. I'm not too sure. They have new IPs. They're bringing back other series that are not Final Fantasy, but it's still not. For them or for the business, it's not cutting it still. And if they need to get a solution or I have to give them a solution, I think it still have to be the Final Fantasy series. They have to find a way to make it
relevant again. They need to make it relevant again, basically.
Yeah, they have to make it really relevant because their direction on 13 is not gonna cut it. I think it all depends on the 15, which is why I think it took long for them to release.
And I think it was also a mistake on their part to make 14 an MMO. 11 at that point in time when they announced 14, I think the 11 was still ongoing. The 11 was the
it was still ongoing.
Right. So was there really a need to make another MMO? Wouldn't it have been better to have made 14 a new single player experience? And
I disagree with that in a certain extent. I think they do need an MMO. But I don't think they need the second one that's actually the same shit over and over. I think
they had to release twice.
They had to release twice. I think they do need an MMO. It'd be pretty cool having a Final Fantasy online game. But if they actually did it, I would have preferred it was not the thing that we all know.
Yeah, but the thing is, there already was a FF online game. It was FF11, right? So
yeah, no, which is the same. I'm talking about the concept itself, the holy trinity of the tanks, healer, paint, that DPS.
Yeah, okay.
That concept, that aspect of the MMO, it'd be cool to have an online. They could have made something unique out of it, because Final Fantasy is always about bringing something new to the table or something different. No, it's just their MMOs are an MMO wrapped around in chocobo skin or whatever.
And they've been slapping the Final Fantasy name on a lot of things also. I think we brought this up before.
Yeah.
But the name is just really diluted at this point.
Yeah. Very diluted.
And I do feel also that it's time they kind of just temporarily retire FF for a bit and just reboot it with something. Just call it Final Fantasy. Don't give it a number anymore. Just Final Fantasy. It's not really a reboot because technically Final Fantasy games are
stories.
Yeah, exactly right. But just when you just label it as Final Fantasy, that's already that says something about what you want that game to be like. It's not just another sequel. This is going to be you're redoing the whole thing from the beginning again.
Well, do you like a reboot more than a remake?
Not a remake, because they love remaking their games as it is. There's so many.
No. When I say remake, as in they bring back, for example, Final Fantasy VI in the next generation.
Oh no! Actually, I think Final Fantasy VI. I think all Final Fantasies more or less have ended well that they don't require a sequel for the most
No,
part.
well, not a sequel, more like it's just like remastered. And that's the word.
An HD version, you mean, kind of?
Like, why not? Because like Nintendo's doing it over and over.
Well, I
Those Zelda
would
games.
personally, I would rather see them make new stuff because the old games are great, and I think that they should also be doing that. But if they had to focus right now on something, it should be on making new material, not on just rehashing.
And they've
same
done
shit.
the rehashing already
For a lot of things, like they've
for a
done
lot of older games.
Final Fantasy IV has got like how
The
many
DS one, yeah,
There's
and
a DS
the
one, there's a
PSP
Game
one.
Boy Advance one. There was a PlayStation 1 version, I think.
Oh no, and you're right. They're actually
There was
remaking the HD version of Final Fantasy X and X too.
Yeah, right.
And they're releasing Final Fantasy VI on iOS. Like that's their newest announcement.
Oh, and I've heard also Dragon Quest 1 to 8 will be on the cell phone, which will be on mobile,
Yeah.
which I doubt we'll ever see here because that's the Japan's market. You know, that it's much more cell phone savvy than the West. Oddly enough.
Oh yeah, the Japan is actually really. I think that's one of the biggest competition in Japan. Like the mobile game there's huge.
And the only remake anyone wants to see anyway is FF7.
Which is never happening for
Which is never happening.
It's just never happening because the producers or the developers saying that they're just if they make it. I remember this quote there: "If they make it, it means they failed."
It's a failure of the game designer.
Yeah. Which, okay, well, you just go ahead, just keep
but
failing.
that's the kind of mentality that they need to change in that company.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's such a...
So stubborn. They're so stubborn.
Especially
get out of your high horse. It's not working.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you guys aren't exactly what you used to be. But, to be fair, like, their ADOS division, they have been doing well. Deus Ex, Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Deus Ex.
Those have been great games, honestly. It's really only the really Final Fantasy Japanese side.
It's just Square Enix in general. Not their purchased properties, but just Square Enix themselves.
But yeah, I do hope that we start seeing some more change soon, and they do have a few games coming out for the next gen that we have to look forward to. We have definitely FF15, which is going to be something a lot of people will be looking at carefully. Because
I think everybody's like they do feel the pressure of what's going on with the series, and 15 will be pretty much of a defining thing if they can actually pull it off.
Final Fantasy 15 looks very risky because if you saw the trailer, it's not even in the fantasy world. It's like this weird modern.
It's modern steampunkish.
Modern steampunk is fine because it's always been like that, like Final Fantasy 7.
Right.
Like it's always the same thing. But I'm worried about is how it looks, the gameplay. It does not. It feels like they're trying to do something really unique or something different, which is
and it's going to be an open world game, right?
Yeah, or something like that.
That's something they haven't done yet.
It's kind of scary. I'm not too sure about it.
I have to disagree there. They did that with Final Fantasy 12 was kind of an open world game. It was sort of...
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
No, but like you can drive and shit. So it's Grand Theft Final Fantasy.
You can drive and
Oh,
shit.
really?
That'd be kind of cool. And of course there's Kingdom Hearts 3, which hopefully will explain everything, but I doubt
you can wait for that game another 5 years, I'm sure. God damn it.
It's Kingdom Hearts will just say hi to Lost Guardian. Last Guardian.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Nobody can mention Last Guardian every episode.
They're gonna high five
until it finally comes
limbo.
out, right?
Yeah.
Until
PlayStation Limbo.
If I know a way to bring it up.
Coming for PlayStation 6. Last Guardian.
In physical form,
The last Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, here's one good news, which I don't know will help, and we're talking about Square Enix still. They're going to do a reboot on Tomb Raider.
Again?
No. No. Did I say reboot? No. I'm talking about
sequel. A sequel.
Oh, sequel.
Sorry. Yeah,
reboot.
a sequel to the reboot, which is actually pretty exciting because I love the reboot. That was a great game.
Yeah, she's hot.
Aircraft's always been hot. But yeah, that's it for Square Enix. Hopefully they, bounce back to whatever hell they're in right now. Release dates. What's coming out? Actually, no. Injustice.
On the Vita.
It's coming on the Vita, which I wanted to talk about like in the last episode, but we had a little problem.
PLDT happened. Good job,
PLD
PLDT.
happened. I know. November 12 for North American. Well, actually, I'm guessing it's also for us, because NA is pretty much same as for all the release dates here. It'll be going to the Vita, the Ultimate Edition, actually, which will come with all the DLCs, I'm assuming.
Yep, and I guess most of the costumes, if not all.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Like, Injustice is a great fighting game, and it'll be pretty cool to be, like, on the go. I'm just weirded out to why it takes them this long for them to release the Vita version.
No, it's fine. They have to make the console game sell first. They did the same
true.
thing with Mortal Kombat.
That actually makes sense if you put it that way, yeah.
And IGN actually put out a video showing off the Vita gameplay already, and it looks really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I think it looks even better than their MK port.
This is like all the characters that they've released so far.
All 6 DLC characters.
That's awesome. Alright, cool.
Funny thing is, Scorpion is not on the box art.
What? How can you not have Scorpion?
He's not a fucking hero. Or an anti-hero. I don't know what the fuck he is.
He's not DC, that's why.
Not DC.
Silly Ed Boon.
Isn't he like overpowered? And, like,
Oh, he got nerfed hard, dude. Don't worry.
oh, okay. The Banhammer. No, not the Banhammer.
Nerf hammer. He got hit by the Nerf sword.
The Nerf sword. Yeah. They never really mentioned the price point for the Ultimate Edition. I'm not too sure if it's cheaper. But they did give release dates. Released. Oh, actually, this Ultimate Edition is coming out for not only the Vita but for PC, PlayStation 3,
And PS4.
PS4. Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Xbox One, no injustice.
Oh, come on.
There is no justice.
Well, they got Killer Instinct, so
They only have Killer Instinct.
they got Jago to cover it. So.
They got Jago.
They got Jago.
Jago again, huh?
I know. I brought it up again. I'm sorry. What's out today?
There's not much actually. This month is going to be big, but this week is not going to be too big. Valhalla Knights 3 on the Vita is coming out.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, really. There's a Zumba game if anyone cares about that.
What are you talking about? Pokemon just came out today. I mean,
I'm talking about next week. We're talking about coming out next week. Like, I'm not. This week's actually pretty heavy. Next week.
Well, in the States, a few shipments of Pokemon X and Y didn't make it because the U.S. government shut down.
Oh,
No.
really? Seriously?
Yeah, that's the thing that happened.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
What? So we had like a shortage or something?
Take time to use that term. Thanks, Obama. I didn't get Pokemon.
I'll send you guys the picture.
Holy mothers.
Yeah, the U.S. Oh man, the U.S. the government, is still shut down.
Yep, it is.
Get a decision already, man. The Pokemons are not rolling
The
out.
Pokemons aren't coming.
Pokemons aren't coming.
Yeah, I see the picture now. To our customers, due to the federal government shutdown, some of our shipments have been delayed. It appears the video games Pokemon X and Y, just Pokemon X and Y, are also delayed. We are sorry for the inconvenience. Oh, that's just...
Have you seen the pictures for people lining up for Pokemon?
Dude, my friend...
In this country?
Yeah, my friend, told me what happened in, Alabang Town Center.
What happened there?
The Pokemon happened.
No, no. The mall wasn't even open yet. It wasn't even open yet. And there, some of the people that were lining up that actually went to the mall to get their copy, found a way to slip in the mall to line up.
Shit.
And the guards got pissed off. Like, I don't know what happened then, but they were looking for those guys.
They Sam Fisher did.
Yeah, they found a way, so it's like a security breach in a sense, if you think about it. But yeah, when the stores officially opened, it was a huge line. It was like a really big line. Pokemon's huge here.
I actually was at Data Blitz today, because I had dinner out as I told you guys earlier.
Yeah.
So, stopped by Data Blitz to see what's new. There's a ton of guys there buying Pokemon.
Yeah, we're all kids inside.
And 3DSs have also been sold out. One of our site members, Arlie.
You know what? I should have brought my 3DS along for Street Pass. I would have gotten a ton of these.
Wait, did Arlie get a 3DS?
No, he was tempted to, but they were sold out of 3DS XLs.
Oh, wow.
He almost did.
No, believe it or not, I had a temptation.
Hey, hang on. He can still get a 2DS.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But due to
That's
the
right.
federal government shutdown,
Oh, there's gonna be a short.
Thanks, Obama.
But
so no
I wouldn't lie though. I have the temptation that I kind of want to play a Pokemon game again. I think it's about time I get a 3DS.
But you can also get a 2DS.
You're right. That's a good argument.
it's not in this country yet, as far as I know.
Yeah, as far as I know. But for all the bashing we gave it on our first episode,
It's an option. Well, I heard about why it doesn't fold.
No, okay. Why does not?
It's because instead of having two screens, it's actually just one screen with
So
the
it's one screen
faceplate
with a
covering
piece
it.
of, it's one screen with a piece of plastic dividing it into two.
Yeah, and the bottom screen has the touch screen, whatever sensor thing. So that's why it doesn't fold. That's why it's cheaper.
That's stupid.
That's
But
a lot.
there's
That's
the reasoning.
That's a missed opportunity there, though. Why not just remove that piece of plastic and just have a really huge screen?
Then it
Right?
would be the 1DS.
That too, yeah. I don't understand that design.
Then it wouldn't be a dual screen.
Anyways, it's not.
And it's not for us. I know it. But stop talking about the 2DS because it just pisses me off. Yeah, this next week not so much, but this week yes, Pokemon X and Y is already out. Gotta catch them all. Do it. You're doing it right now, I'm sure. Wolf Among Us. Whoever likes The Walking Dead. Telltale Games has a new series. Whoever likes the Fables comic, all about that. It's pretty much the prequel, I guess. Can anybody?
Yeah, it's a prequel to. Yeah, it's a prequel to Fable. I don't know if it's a prequel to the whole of Fables or just to the character of the big bad wolf. But
Yeah, it's the Fables comic is a really interesting series, and it's pretty much Telltale Games' take on it. It looks amazing. It looks exactly like it's about the same art as The Walking Dead.
It's the same art, but it looks better.
Yeah, it looks way better. But they kind of got they fine-tuned what they had. They got it better. First episode's out. No, you can get the whole thing, I think, for $25. Like, same as the Walking Dead. You get it for
How many episodes are there going to be? 5?
same 5.
I would
Yeah.
six.
okay,
I think.
cool.
You guys gonna pick it up? Because to be
Um,
For
real,
I'm gonna
I'm not. I've read a few of the Fables comics. I'm not like following it religiously, so for me, this is not something I'm super want to get into, not something I'm super interested in. To be fair.
No, me, I'm actually, the reason why I'm actually getting pulled into this The Wolf Within is not because I'm a fan of Fables, it's because I want to see if Telltale Games is actually making, how they create stories now, like, how they did with The Walking Dead. It's gonna
like
be,
if their storytelling holds up. In
yeah,
other
and
games.
it's their trademark now, like, they're gonna implement that amazing way to tell a story.
That would be
to
my
other-
reasoning as well.
Yeah.
Like if I have a spare $5, I'd get it.
Actually, I won't bother with the $5 because I actually want to get the whole thing instead. Like, I'll just wait for it. Like, see everybody's reaction as a full picture. Or maybe it's a bad idea actually, because that's the reason why I liked The Walking Dead the first time, because I played the first episode.
You were experiencing it yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I think maybe I'll consider it maybe in a couple of days. But yeah, it's $5 for the first episode if you want to get the whole thing.
It's $24.99 if you want to get the whole thing today.
Isn't there a season pass where you get like cheap, like you get 20, like 90?
It didn't.
Yeah, you can get the full episode because they did that for all their other games. Remember, it was
No, I don't think they're doing it for this one because I'm seeing it on Steam right now. Like if you get it for the PC, it's $25, which is weird. So I don't think there is. I think they know it's gonna do well or something. I don't know.
It says here, season purchase includes a collector's DVD, available at the end of the season for just the cost of shipping and handling. That's weird.
But yeah, it's out. Whoever wants a little good story, I think it's gonna be good. Like Telltale Games got their groove. They got their
Even if the story is not good, as long as you have the feels,
yeah.
for
feels.
the choices you make.
I don't think the story will be bad. Because they're, like I said, it's an award-winning comic book, and it's it has a big community, just like how The Walking Dead has a big community. I don't think they would want to, jeopardize their rep and at the same time the comics rep. So I think it'll be good. And they have a pig that smokes. That's pretty interesting.
yeah, the pig that smokes.
I'm sure it's one of the piggies. So
From Amnesia.
from Amnesia 2. What else? What else that came out this week? Borderlands 2, the Game of the Year edition, is already out in the Philippines. I don't think the PC's out yet, which I'm waiting for.
I'm waiting for that too, because I actually bought Borderlands 2 when it came out, and I never bought any of the DLC. So this is a good excuse for me to just get the complete package. And
actually, the reason why I didn't get the Borderlands 2 when it came out last year was because I want to get the Game of the Year edition. I couldn't last the Game of the Year. And when the summer sale came out in Steam, I was lucky enough to get a good deal of all the content.
Right.
Minus, I think, Psycho, the character, which I was fine with. I just wanted to get the story content. And I got it for $9.99.
Nice one.
All of it. And I'm like, okay. I'll get it right now, I'm sorry. And the only thing I'm missing right now, I think, is the Necromancer and the Psycho.
Yeah, those are probably going to be in the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, they are included in the game. The reason why I was okay with it was there's 4 characters I can play around. But my couple of friends are waiting for the PC version of the Game of the Year edition. Once they pick that up, I think I'm gonna reinstall Borderlands 2, and I think I'll buy one of the characters. So the character to play around with. But yeah, it's already out. I forgot the price, but I think regular price here in the Philippines. It's definitely a good deal. It's a great game. It's a really good game. What else?
I think that's it. I think that's it for this week. Next week we're going to have a pretty heavy week, I think. Either next week or the following week. Definitely within the next 3 weeks we're going to be seeing Batman, we're going to see Assassin's Creed, and we're going to see Battlefield. So it's going to be pretty nuts. It's going to be pretty heavy on the wallet.
Maybe wait. Batman's coming out on the 25th? I know it won't make it. Damn it. I was thinking that Batman would reach the next episode. Next episode's
it's basically going to release on a Friday. So we usually record this on Saturday. So I'm not normally the type to buy a game day one. I'm never in a rush really. I'll just go when it's most convenient.
I don't want to be in a line. I'm an idiot that way.
You're the type to go in line, yeah. I
yeah, I'm an idiot that way. I just want to waste my time, just waiting.
I did that once though. I did that for Warcraft 3 when that was first released. I remember.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
I did it for Diablo 3. No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it for Diablo 3. I got a digital version for that. I got it. I stayed in line for Final Fantasy 13, which is weird. What was that? What's the other one?
That was
GA5.
That Final Fantasy 13. That probably wasn't worth the wait.
Well, I found that out after 60 hours.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
But it was actually a fairly big line, so it was a big fan base.
Yeah.
13 too. I didn't buy it the day one, but I was in the mall, and I know it was coming the day. There was no one there that was getting it. I'm not kidding. They had posters, and it wasn't out of stock or shit like that. I had another one that I was in line with. But yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. You see that the fame of the game. But if only database does things faster, a little bit more less tedious. What else we got here? I guess that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. I think for this week, I think we covered everything. What do we got next week? We got Resident Evil next week. We're gonna continue.
Yeah, next week we're gonna be continuing the whole horror thing because I think we want to just scratch the surface of the evolution of the survival horror from way back when Resident Evil first came out, where it first was released, all the way to what it is now, which is
not to mention all the other horror games in between. There's Fatal Frame, which I think is for me probably my favorite survival horror game ever.
And we haven't even talked about for example Dead Space, which I think
Clock Tower.
Clock Tower. That's another game we actually have to mention. It's not. It has the same Resident Evil camera angle, right? It's like a fixed camera.
Originally it was released on the Super Nintendo.
In point and click fashion.
It was a point and click adventure game fashion, and then when it moved to the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, I think. I think
Clock Tower 2 was on the PlayStation 1. Then 3 was on the PlayStation 2.
Right, yeah. So there it moved more into a what do you call it? More to the typical Resident Evil style. But we'll talk about that next week. So
yeah,
you guys got better tune in for that one because
it's gonna be a series all the way to like Halloween, I think, which will be the 4th episode. What are you gonna play for the whole Halloween thing? Because I'm actually like interested. I'm actually considering of buying a game just for that spirit of playing a survival horror in October.
On the Let's Play channel, Silent Hill 1 Let's Play is going to go live sometime this week.
Oh, okay.
And we also recorded our gameplay of The Cat Lady, which I mentioned earlier.
That I want to check out. And I definitely want to check that out. And I actually have there's a couple new ones, indie ones that have come out on the PC whose name escapes me right now. It's one when you go home and it's empty and you're just trying to figure out what's going on. I'm sure you. Is
that scary? No, going home or gone?
Oh,
gone
that's
home?
One where you. Yeah, I think that's a new one. That's a new one, right?
Well, that's scary though. That's not scary.
Yeah, it's not scary. You're just in an empty house.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's more of a story. Like you're.
There's no monsters.
Yeah, it's more like just you, figuring out the story of the house or like
what happened to your family.
People who lived in this house by just interacting on all the things that are going around in the house.
Well, let's see. I have Deadly Premonition sitting here. I might maybe I'll start that.
Is that even a horror or just like good?
It's Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be playing with that. I'm considering of buying Amnesia because I've never played it. It's supposed to be a really good game. But the one that I have right now, which I think I'll continue, is I think I mentioned it before, The Last Survivor. It's an indie game.
Oh yeah, the one when like one player is that the one where one player plays a monster? Is that the one you're?
Oh no. Oh, that's Damned.
Is that you're talking about the side scroller one?
Yeah. Did I say the name? Did I say the game right? That Last Survivor. It's a 2D. No, I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
What is it?
Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor.
I think I made a mistake even before. Yeah, it's close enough. It's a 2D side-scrolling survival horror that has the same atmosphere as Silent Hill, which is why it's pretty cool, and has a really weird story. And I think I'm gonna try to finish that up once I find money for Amnesia. I want to get Amnesia.
All right. Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. But yeah, do check out next week. We're definitely going to continue on this whole horror story. But yeah, let's wrap it up.
What's your thought of the week? I think mine.
Oh yeah.
I think mine.
God.
I think.
Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me.
But I think mine now is meat vaginas. I really can't get over that.
I don't know what to say about that.
Will, do you remember that monster in Homecoming? That's in your basement when it's flooded.
Is it like the invisible thing, or
sort of? But like its face looks like a meat vagina.
Well, man, I should probably go replay that and take a look. I'm kind of curious to see what this meat vagina looks like now.
Are we supposed to talk about wishes by the end of what?
I wish to see.
You wish to seize the.
You wishes to see the
vagina. That's my wish for the week.
That's horrible. That's your wish for the week. What's mine?
What?
Like, yeah, we're like a little, just like a thing. Like we'll think about our wishes like every week. And for this episode, I wish my net stops fucking up.
I think we all wish our net doesn't drop.
No, it's been messing up this whole weekend. Like I had a heavy day. I had a heavy week this week.
And guys, you know, out there, we're really sorry about last week because like we just couldn't get the network and it was, you know, we had to cut the whole thing short. So
yeah, I think like Miggy had like net problems. Oh no, Will had
net problems. Then I had net problems.
Yeah, and I was in the decision like I want to release something every week. There's something new, it's like just to stay in schedule. So that's why episode 4 is like more of like a short episode.
First half of an episode.
Yeah, first half, which is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good episode.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's like an hour long, but it wasn't definitely not intended to be that short. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again. I'm gonna load up my Sun prepaid it fell. My prepaid Sun net thing, so just in case something bad happens, I have a backup.
Yeah.
Because we're recording this whole podcast via Skype. It's like the best way to do it right now. So
once we get more money and we can get better equipment, though, we can probably do something a little bit cooler. But for now, Skype's going. Migs, what's your wish for the week?
Oh, my wish for the week and my wish for last week is to hashtag buff Lars in Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Oh, buff Lars.
Because everything is unsafe and his anime powers are just not working.
Is it that bad?
He's very slow.
He looks like really like flashy. It looks like he like
with hair like
he deserves that hair or something.
the hair just like
he's a very damaging character, but all his normals are really slow.
Oh, so you're saying that when you say it's not safe, you're meaning that
and a lot of his strings, most of his strings are very unsafe.
Meaning to say that you can be countered easily.
Yeah. So.
Wait, is he the weakest in the roster now?
Oh no, he's not. He's not the weakest, but it's not easy using Lars. So buff Lars, please, Namco.
Mid tier for life.
Mid tier.
Anime tier.
Just like Jago tier for life.
Jago tier for life.
Wouldn't it be funny though if Jago was actually like one of the top tier, just because it was like.
Yeah, he would be because he's the only tier.
He's the only tier.
If he is
for the free community.
No, but like if
he
is top tier, since everyone is using him, everyone knows how he works. So everyone can counter Jago now. Or
so he'll either be top tier or bottom tier. One of the two.
He'll never be mid tier. He'll just be Jago tier.
Jago tier. Alright. Well, that's it.
Alright, guys.
Thanks all for staying for this episode. For more impressions, news, and game reviews, do check out our blog site at www.toomuchgaming.com. That's 2 with the number 2. And I'll put it in the descriptions below. If you have any concerns or suggestions or probably questions you'd like us to tackle, just email us at the TMG Podcast at gmail.com. And yeah, that's it for today. We'll be back again next week. More talk about the survival horror, so you do check that soon. And yeah.
Alright. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.
Peace.
Jago tier. I found the picture of the penis monster.
Oh yeah, the penis monsters.
I swear when you see it.
Do you have a picture of the meat vagina? Because I'm more curious about that.
Well, there's just a lot of those in general, like walls with teeth.
Walls with teeth? What?
Yep.
No, I'm asking if they find a picture of the meat vagina. I haven't seen.
Vagina.
I want to see this meat vagina.
If you talk more about the meat vagina, I am going to put this after the episode. we're trying to find the meat vagina. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to add this. Because you guys are making me shit that's just so wrong.
Oh, put this like at the end, like the outtakes, like.
Yeah, like
find a picture of the meat vagina.
That's not even the meat vagina. What is that?
Oh, that's the penis monster.